All right, the Pencil Talk Takeover continues every once in a while. Every once in a while. I self-deprecate. I'm wrong often. Every once in a while, a group of guys will make me seem a whole lot smarter than I actually am. This just happens to be the case. The energy palpable. The team bond, the chemistry was special. It was different when Ben Upton and I made a North Carolina trip up to the great state of North Carolina, and we met the High Point Panthers, the now Big South champion High Point Panthers. A little Brady Box edition as we've got the Foursquare going. Gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me today.
Thanks, Jack.
Good to be here. Good to see you again.
Heck yeah. Well, we did. I held off on a lot of these interviews, and we're going to be releasing them and dropping them on Wednesday when this pod comes out. So if you're listening, I need you to go take a listen in. At the time, we hadn't been introduced to the legend that is Peyton Carr, but I did get to interview what will now be known as the Redneck Ichiro, Mr. Charlie Klingler. But Coach Hammond, that day for us, I was like, man, there's something different going on up here. Man, you guys never flinched in the face of adversity. I'd say a rocky start to the season, as you had joked with us that day. But can you kind of run, I guess, college baseball fans that are listening in from late March to this magical run in May, a Big South championship, and now an opportunity to play this weekend in an NCAA regional?
Yeah, man, I think it's pretty clear. We just, you and Ben need to come visit, and teams get on a good way. We weren't playing very well. I think we were 7-14 at a time, and I think you put it online, and I didn't realize until I saw it just the other day. I think it's 27-11 since then. So, that was the deciding factor, man. You tipped us over, but no, a lot of good things have to happen. Guys got to get healthy, and you start believing a little bit more, and one thing leads to another, and you're conference champs for the first time.
Hey, first time in the history of the school. I walking around your campus, for those who don't know, one of my best friends, Harrison Smith, had played there. So I think maybe I was in on the action a little bit early. And it's gorgeous, right? But I do feel like there's a lot of pride, right? Can you kind of explain to me, obviously, the first time Big South champions, but like it feels like your group may be taking on the embodiment of you, but that school as well. Gorgeous accessory. I mean, obviously facilities, but kind of the pride and energy and love that you have for that brand that you guys play with every day.
Yeah, look, it's they joke about it. It's like Disneyland. I mean, the place is it's remarkable, man. It's beautiful, and it's a lot of bling everywhere, and so yeah, there's a lot of pride involved in that, and there's some expectations that come with it as well. But look, we believe in ourselves, and we kept it in-house, and regardless of what our campus is like, we have an identity as a team, and we kind of hold on to that pretty tightly, but it's a special place, and to be the first, I think that was important. We understand the levity of it, and we talked about it. It wasn't something we shied away from and was hoping it was happen. It was something that we've had faith all along, as what the destiny of this team was to be and was going to be, and look, we wanted to rewrite some record books here and wipe out the past and start something new and fresh. And these guys, they were able to do it.
Yeah. Hey, we talked about setting a standard of like a new standard of excellence, and it takes time, right? But I think what was immediately, I guess, felt from Ben and I when we made our trip up there was, man, the love for each other that you guys had, right? That team chemistry was off the charts. And I go, hey, for me, like, I don't necessarily love talking to the best player. I just like telling stories. So, like, as I've gone across the country, there have been college baseball stories that I think relate and resonate to a lot of people. I go, Coach, man, if there's anybody that really like represents the fabric of who you are, it's this guy in the bottom portion of our screen right now. You told me and introduced him only simply as the Redneck Ichiro. I'd like for you to introduce him, almost stepbrother style. I'd like for you to interview him now and introduce Charlie to the college baseball community.
Well, I don't know if the college baseball community is ready for Charlie Klingler, but because I surely wasn't, and I don't know if I am anymore. I am officially 0 for 3 in my legit, real, serious attempts of trying to cut Charlie Klingler. I told him, I think in our first conversation when I got the job 3 years ago, that didn't think he was good enough. I love him, and hey, we're going to try, but like, I don't think you're good enough, and you probably shouldn't play here. And Charlie, in only the way that he can, he kind of looked at me and said, well, I think I'm gonna stay. And I'm like, all right, it's a lot of money come to school here, but that's fine. Let's see. And and then after the fall, try to cut him again. And no, I think I'm just going to stay. And didn't take him on some trips, and he ended up leading our team in hitting at the end of the year. So I am, and then after the year, of course, he led our team in hitting. And I told him at the end of the year, my job is to try to get our roster better. And so I'm not sure you're going to be on the team next year, man. If I do my job right, it's going to be hard for you next year. And well, no, I'm just going to bet on me anyway. And here we are 3 years later. I can't get rid of the guy. And that's serious. That's honest truth. Charlie will tell you that. But Chuck, why don't you tell these people about our relationship and kind of, how that, if I was misleading in any way so far.
Well, I don't think it was ever misleading. You flat out told me, like, hey, I don't think you were good enough to play college baseball when we were in high school. I mean, he looked at me at a Wake Forest campus like, hey, man, I think we should probably pick up soccer or something. And I'm like, well, I'm not very athletic here, but we should try something. So ended up, all came full circle. He was my coach. And he told me again, like, hey, I mean, you doesn't look like you can do a whole lot, but we'll keep you around. He seemed pretty entertaining. So they went to Jacksonville our first weekend. I went snowboarding, got to hang out with a few friends, and came back. And we go, and I guess he felt bad for me, so he let me play against Kentucky, and that's how the SEC berth of me became.
Yeah, I took everybody, Chuck. It wasn't just for you. That was the one trip we were going to take everybody on the team, and I was kind of pissed at our roster and our team at that time, and so I figured, well, nothing else could go bad here. Let me just throw Charlie in there, and he gets hit in the head. Gets hit in the head, fastball, didn't die. And so I figured, well, let's just keep him in there. And the guy does what he does, which is the most incredibly ugly swing, double down the left field line. And then the history, rest is history.
By the way, that's still my only college hit by pitch.
Shut up. Really?
Oh, yeah, we got one.
Oh, there's another interesting story behind that too, Jack. It's true, but that's part of the reason why his ankle is black and blue right now too. And it is, and it's incredible how he's only got one hit by pitch, but he's got a black and blue ankle right now, in part because of his reluctancy to get hit by pitch.
Wait.
I decided that since I was having a good day in the first day of the conference tournament, since I'd already hit 2 doubles, what more could I do besides take a pitch that was going to hit me in the back hip and foul it off my ankle and get the 3rd barrel of the day. I haven't got very many barrels here lately, so I figured let's just put it off my ankle.
And then twisted his ankle on his way down. So, he just did a doozy, man. It's incredible. The umpire literally told me while I'm looking at him laying on the ground, making a joke like I would normally make. And I'm like, the umpire came up to me and said, hey, Skip, that ball was going to hit him if he didn't hit it. Hey, look, I'm not surprised. That's Charlie, man.
Hey, the minute that I met the dude, he and I immediately bonded. Nobody self-deprecates more, maybe between the both of us. But we are talking about a career 300 hitter. You hit 330 your first year. You hit 285 with 6 jimmies this year. Coach mentioned the swing. You told me there was a double at Wake Forest, a middle infielder came to you, was like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah, we had a middle infielder tell me, and then I finally got to third base, and I guess the third base umpire thought he was the second coming of Christ, and he knew everything about baseball. Next thing you know, he's like, hey, man, I don't know how you play college baseball. I said, well, go ahead and add that to the list of people that have told me that. Yeah, that is the worst swing I've ever seen. I'm like, well, you missed a call a few innings earlier, so you might want to work on that one.
Keep it in your camp. See, that was a new story for Coach Hammond. We're breaking barriers here. But while we're talking numbers, man, I got to introduce this guy. I can't believe it's taken me this long. And as you can tell, he's a lot more soft-spoken and maybe just wildly more respectful than the other 3 gentlemen in this call. Mr. Peyton Carr. Peyton, for those who haven't been able to catch up and are living under a rock in the college baseball world, dude, one of the most incredible stories of the season, man. I believe you've played in 24 games this year. You've battered your tail off through injuries. Yet 13 homers in 24 games is pretty much the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I don't think I could do that if I hit from second base. We mentioned Charlie's swing, but you've become really almost viral in the social media world because the really beautiful flamingo Karate Kid-esque leg kick. Welcome to Pencil Talk Nation, sir. Thanks for joining us, dude.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So because of the viral videos, I do have to ask you, when did the leg kick come into play?
So honestly, I was messing around with it over winter break, and I'd always kind of had a leg kick a little bit, just messing around with it over winter break, and I just found that the higher I got it, I felt like I could get a better swing off. The higher and earlier I got it, so I just kind of rode with it, and I think Joey looked at me like I was crazy the first time he saw me coming back and hitting, but I just kind of ran with it. So,
let's talk about. Here's the deal: math was really difficult for me. So I really struggled in that category, but I do know that these numbers are pretty damn good. Yeah, you with me, Chuck? Yeah, not easy.
He struggles with every subject, man. Come on.
All right. Well, as math guys, I just know that these numbers are way too high for me to count. If you were applicable and able to, I guess, play early on this year, right? It was a knee, I believe.
I've got a torn adductor. I've got a sports hernia. I've got a few things going on down there, like in my hip area. But
all right, so everyone clip this, right? I need for him. Say that again, Charlie.
I'll answer.
No, don't say that again, Charlie. No.
All right, we're editing that out. Clip this part.
No, that's good.
Mr. Carr, dude, you're playing through these injuries, yet you're slugging 900 right now. 13 homers, obviously the 29 RBIs. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that again one more time. He's slugging 933 in 24 games. Are you just stronger than everybody else, or are you playing wiffle ball in the backyard? I got to know what the approach is, because I sure as hell have never felt that before getting into it.
I mean, my approach, I just try to get my leg up as high as I can and as early as I can, and I just try to hit it as far as I can.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the band was good. Kiss. I like the approach too. Keep it simple, stupid folks. He's doing it in 24 games, 90 at-bats. But here's the most impressive part, and Coach, maybe you can speak to this. You're not striking out either, dude. You're not striking out. I always said, to invert that strikeout to walk ratio is just stupid. You got 17 walks, 9 strikeouts. With that big leg kick, you got to be the most balanced samurai in the universe. Coach, I need you to tell the people what you've seen from afar as this dude is doing truly video game type stuff.
Yeah, well, first it makes life a lot easier when you can put his name in the 3-hole. Rosters and team lineups get better and all those things. But you hit it on the head, man. Look, a complete hitter. I know he can simplify it, but there's a lot more to it. I don't think he wants to tell you all his secrets, and I don't blame him. But there is a method behind all of it. Look, at the end of the day, we were all robbed of him and what he could have done last year. And quite frankly, had he not been injured last year, he wouldn't be on our team this year. He'd been a pro, and that's great and fine. But things happen for a reason, and we thought we were going to miss out on his opportunity to do it again this year, just a week before the season started, which was a bummer. But credit to this guy's perseverance and his work and his faith and his belief. And again, another thing people should recognize and realize the type of person he is. All along the way, he wasn't looking. He could have gotten another year and a red shirt, and he said all along, look, if it's just one at bat, if it's going to help us, win a championship, even if it's for the last week of the year, I want to do everything in my power to be in there and get on the field. And I thought that was pretty selfless of him, and knowing that he's got some limitations with his ability to move and run and those kinds of things right now, it's pretty special. And yeah, to look, as a hitter, we recognized early on, he doesn't chase out of the strike zone. There's not very much swing and miss at all. That's difficult, man, when you got some juice and you're not going to chase out of the zone and you make somebody come see you. And we want them to come see him. And we encourage people to do that, and he's going to make it pay. And look, the leg lift does have a little evolution to it. Again, I may have mentioned this to you, Jack, before, but in the middle of the Presbyterian series, those guys are trying to make some adjustments to them and change timing up and all those things. And only a way a true hitter can do. We're literally in the middle of the game, and he comes up to me and he says, "Coach, when this guy slide steps from the stretch, what do you think about just lifting my leg up and just holding it there?" And of course, me being a genius coach I am, I'm like, Dude, you can stand on your head. I don't care what you do. Just hit. Just hit, man. I don't care. And so the guy just kind of makes some stuff up when he needs to get a feel for it. He's settled in really good now and's got a lot of at-bats. But early on, I don't think people can appreciate and understand how hard it is to take a year and a half off and jump in and just keep putting up numbers like he is. It's pretty remarkable.
Difference between the good and the great. The great can make adjustments on the fly. Coach, you had told me that story. I kind of teed it up because I was just like, I don't understand like how that's possible. I was a dude where you could have put me at Williamsport at 22 years old. Like if I was in a struggle bus, like there was no adjusting on the fly, dude. Like I couldn't figure it out. But man, Peyton, kudos to you. Charlie, I'll ask you this because I know you two are roommates, correct?
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
He snores. It's brutal.
I don't want to hear anything about snoring.
It's sleep apnea. Leave me
Just
alone.
look at Charlie. Does he not look like someone that would snore like terribly? Just look at him.
It's only if I get on my back. Sometimes I just got to roll over and then we go back to normal, your regular scheduled program.
I've got a funny story about him snoring. If you want to hear it, I'll let you. I'll let you talk to him first. But
no, I want you. I'd take it over, dude.
Oh my gosh! So it's the other night. I just hear. I'm like half asleep. I hear something. I can't even describe it. It sounded like screaming almost. I look over and it's Charlie. His mouth's wide open. He's making these weird noises, and I'm like, because I thought I was going to go over and have to like resuscitate him. Like it sounded like he was dying. And then I'm like, Charlie, and he like gets up and he's like, what? He was like, dude, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I was just sleeping on my back. So whenever he does it almost every night. I look over and he's sleeping on his back. He's making the same noise.
Wait, hold on. So is this like road roomies? Or are we like, I thought we were roomies on campus. Is this like through like a door and a wall?
No,
here's the good part.
We're living together now. We all moved into the same dorm. The whole team's in the same dorm. So we're living together now.
That's the greatest.
There's no door, nothing. It's just you wake up and he gets to see my bright smiling face every morning.
All right, you mentioned screaming noises. This brings me back to a story that Coach Hammond told me that I real life did not believe. Charlie, when I saw you last, you told me about picture day at the ballpark with maybe a favorite passion of yours. Can you tell? I think what a lot of fellow hunters in the college baseball world are going to be super envious of this story.
Yeah, so I remember I love turkey hunting. I love anything hunting, fishing, outdoors. Like that's going to be a big part of me when I get out of here. I'm going to try to do all that full time, but we'll see how that goes. But it was turkey season. I remember I got on a pretty good hunt on some public land around High Point. Shoot a bird because I was hunting with my 410 and went with my buddies. Got everything.
Don't tell you public land.
It was true public land. Thank you. Can't give away all the secrets. But it's like, I'm like, man, this would be a pretty cool thing. Got my regular pictures in the woods taken. So I'm like, you know what would be really cool? I see all the people taking pictures, like the big signs and everything. I'm like, all right, I'm going to call Skipper. Hey, man, can I bring a turkey on the field? And I kid you not, he goes, the hell did you just ask me? Like, you gonna make a sandwich? Like, no, Joey, I just shot a turkey and I'd like to take a picture of it on the field. I think it'd be pretty cool. He goes, man, I don't care what you do, but if you get in trouble, you didn't ask me. Like, for me, I just need an okay from you. I can deal with the rest of it. Next thing you know, I go out there. We got the media team taking pictures. Now I posted. Old Row Outdoors picks it up. A few other pages pick it up, and here we are. I'm the idiot with the turkey on the field.
Coach, you get the call, which, mind you, like it's not super easy getting in on y'all's campus. Y'all got to get it up pretty good. You get the call. Like, there's no way you're surprised at that point, coaching the dude, right?
Well, look, when Charlie Klingler's number comes up on my phone, I got to take a deep breath and sit down because it's going to be interesting. There's no doubt. So I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised because like who takes a picture of like his kill on center field of our field like it's a prom picture or something, man. Like except for Chuck, man. I mean that's again wild. Can't make it up.
You said when his phone number pops up, can we hear the craziest phone call from Charlie Klingler? Or is it like,
I preach to our team when good things happen and bad things happen, we got to have amnesia. And so I think I'm probably really good at taking my own advice because I try really hard to forget every phone call I ever get from Charlie Klingler. So, I joke about it. It's true. I'm not lying. He is wild. It's crazy. He doesn't get me in too much trouble. So, the stories are usually just surprising, but I don't think there's anything that's like we're not breaking any. There's no criminal activity, right? He's just look. The best part about Charlie is it's every day. It doesn't matter, man. It's every day. There's going to be something. So I don't have enough time to tell you about everything with Chuck, and the whole roster and the whole team understands it too. It's like, well, it's Chuck. So like what of course it's a Tuesday, whatever.
Tuesday. Well, hey, man, you guys have won a lot of games on Tuesdays, won a ton on the weekend as well. What I want to ask y'all, going into this regional, right? You just come off a Big South championship, the first in school's history. And I can say this out of love, right? I was a super senior too. You guys got an old veteran bunch. Do you think that has kind of played an impact in, like, obviously, like, the parity in college baseball, but like maybe like the success y'all been able to ride on in the back half of the season, knowing like, we got an old group of dudes that we can really rely on.
Yeah, I'll let these guys talk to it, but I will tell you from my perspective, it's really comforting to know, quite frankly, and I think where it comes into play more than anything is just dealing with adversity. Even thinking in the conference tournament, we fall behind 7-0 to your Charleston Southern Bucks, and in the second inning, and our guys didn't blink, and I think that doesn't happen unless you got some veteran guys that believe in each other and they got a lot of faith in each other and their experiences. And so I do think that factors in, no doubt. And quite frankly, that combined with, look, we intentionally scheduled the way that we schedule. We went on a 3-game series to Ole Miss early in the year and played at Tennessee and played at, Wake Forest. And we did all these things intentionally so that if and when we got the opportunity to go to a place like Clemson, which is fantastic, I'm not suggesting that we won't have some, extra adrenaline running, but it won't be so completely foreign. And I think that factors in as well. What do you guys got?
Yeah.
You can talk.
What you got, Chuck?
Well, it's always good to have like the older guys. I mean, like Pato, he's been here for years. He might not have got last year, but I mean, we both started here together and we've seen the program go from, what did we win, 13, 14 games the first year to now conference champs. And if you had told me 3.5 years ago that we were going to be sitting here in conference champs, like, okay, we probably won't be here then. I guess they got better talent.
Well, hey, let me ask you. You did. It sounds like you tried 3 times.
All jokes aside, like the guys that they keep bringing in every year, like we just find a way to, like, we got some glue guys. We got some guys that are just insane with talent, like Pato over there, and like Cale Chatham and Adam Stewart. I mean, Adam Stewart's the face of the program. There's a reason he's on the scoreboard. He's one of the best people you ever talk to, and he's just been there for years. And if you want to know how to work, that's the guy you go to, because sun up, sun down. Always got his sunscreen and his undershirt on, but he's at the field.
Hey, he's not on this call because, again, he probably is not going to be super entertaining in this kind of setting. But there's no way we could ever compete without a guy like Adam Stewart. That's for sure. We follow him.
It was so funny. Like, I was on the broadcast for that Sunday game against Charleston Southern where Cale got his first, like, obviously outing on the mound and diving back through the numbers, and you see what he did at LaGrange. But what really stood out to me was how deep y'all were, like at every position, right? Like Adam Stewart played like maybe the quietest, like clean shortstop position with backside pop. Obviously, Peter, you hadn't been started playing yet, but like Charlie, like there were so many pieces that could beat a team. Like you're not just relying on one dude, right? Like even out of the pen as well. Like it's been kind of like a hodgepodge of different guys stepping up and delivering in these big moments. And to me, like, when I walk through the All's locker room and you see like kangaroo court, I know it sounds trivial, and when I ask you about Mafia, to me, those are the signs of like a really good clubhouse and a really good team. So I ask you, who's the most offensible Kangaroo Court participant? And I also want to know Mafia narrator and best Mafia and best cop on those bus trips.
The Cane Court, if we had to just tell somebody who'd end up paying the most fines, it's probably a new guy, transfer Sean McGee. I mean, you just look at the kid or Sam Schneer. You just throw the two in there together, and it's two peas in a pod. Like, you just look at them, it's like, okay, just buy something for the team. Like, just
all right, so we've got – I'm telling you, it's the sign of a good team, Kangaroo Court. Now, Pato, I ask you, are you guys a Mafia bus? Like, do y'all play a lot of Maf?
Oh, yeah, we live for Maf. Kale typically narrates. We got Miguel Echezarreta. He narrates a little bit, and Sean Duffy. So we got a good veteran group of guys who kind of take over. And, we go to town. We live for those bus rides for Maf.
I'm not even going to sit here and try to describe to the people. If you don't know Mafia and you don't know Kangaroo Corp, then you've probably already shut off this pod. Like, I'm not too worried about you. You know what I mean? But it is those interactions are what makes this thing so special. But hey, for two guys that have been there for a long time, I want to know about this dude. What's it been like playing for Coach Hammond? What's he meant to the program? And how is this? I mean, it's all changed so quick. Like you mentioned, from freshman to now. And I'm curious, what's it like playing for this dude?
He's awesome. Player's coach. You want to run through a wall for him. He brings the energy every day. He's like, he's awesome. I can't even describe. I can't even put into words. I mean, it's just somebody that you really want to play for and you want to go to war for every single day. There's not a day that goes by that, he doesn't bring the energy. He's messing with us. He's kicking us in the butt sometimes too. And, it's just, I mean, I seriously could not ask for a better coach. I mean, he's awesome. Awesome.
Taylor, you're already in a lineup, dude.
But it was perfect timing because let's let Chuck hit cleanup.
Oh no, we don't need to do it.
Dinner first too, or was that the whole deal?
Here we go. Come on, Chuck, bring it. Let's go. Come on.
No, all jokes aside, it's awesome. Like he said, run through a wall for the guy. I mean, he puts me in left field, and knowing me as athletic as I am, I'm going to try to run through the wall at least 6 times a year. So that feels real good on the old man's back. But it's awesome. He's always the guy that's going to cut up with you, just have fun, and he's not going to try to nitpick everything you do. He's going to take you for who you are, and obviously he's let me be who I am. And he's tried to cut me, but he ain't killed me yet. So
that's the line of the day. Hey, but seriously though, it is inspiring. I told this to Coach, not to sound trivial, but it is inspiring to watch from afar, because I think these type of interviews, it resonates to the old guy like me that misses being in that environment. It resonates to the guy that are in clubhouses across the country that are maybe trying to yearn for this type of, atmosphere. And then the guy in high school that's like, all right, what's this really look like? What's it really feel like? And what you guys have been able to put together is wildly impressive. It's why you guys are in a position to play against Clemson and Coastal and Vandy this weekend. I want y'all to know that I'm expecting, and I've already told the entire world, get ready for some long balls for the boys in purple this weekend. Doug Kingsmore's a hitter-friendly ballpark. There's going to be a lot of conversation about the Power Fives and Coastal, a national champion back in 2016. Man, I want to know. Today was the selection show. Obviously, this is coming out Wednesday, so the news broke on Monday. But, today must have been, super special. But, what are the vibes going into this weekend?
I mean, everybody was excited. Everybody's fired up. We get to go to Clemson, get to be around that crowd. It brings us back. We talked about it at practice. Joe's put us in the environment. We've been to Ole Miss. We played at Tennessee. We played the big games at Wake Forest. We've been there. We've won. We've expected to do this. We've expected to be here. So now all we got to do is what he's told us all year. We got to go out and take it, because they sure as hell ain't going to give it to us.
True. I like that. Coach, what are we feeling? I will warn you, Charlie. I played left. I played left at Clemson. They knew my mom's name. They knew my girlfriend's name. They knew my grandma's name. Buckle up, it's gonna be good.
Charlie, I'm gonna make a petition to the NCAA and let me have 2 DHs. It would be fantastic if I could just do that. Trust me, my heart rate would go way down if we could just do that. It'd be great. But no, man, look, we are excited. It was fun. It was a great experience. I told these guys, look, soak it up, take advantage of this time, and it's hard, man. You work all year. It's precious. enjoy every moment of it. I know these guys are probably recovering, from a good weekend of celebrating, which is great. But look, as they've done all year long, man. We knew we had a lift this morning, and they got after it. And then we had our selection show, and that was fantastic. And then we went right out to the practice field and had a great workout. And again, I think that's part of that veteran group and some of the young guys. We talk about culture, man. That was one of the first things when I first got the job, and these guys were here. These are two of the guys that, had experienced, the previous regime, and then this one. And look, there's a million things I do wrong, and these guys will tell you and remind you of those as well, and that's okay. But look, the culture was one of the things that was so obvious needed to be, addressed and cleaned up, and that starts with me. I get it, and then our staff, and then ultimately with the players, and so you gotta have a good time, and these guys love each other, and we talk about love, man. We talk about supporting each other, and we're not too prideful to use big words like that. For men, sometimes it's hard, but it's real, and they know I'm here for them, on and off the field, and again, it's about building relationships. These guys all know that, and I'm just so happy that they got to experience this, and so they're soaking it all in. But don't get it twisted. Like, that moment's going to come, on Friday, and they'll be ready, and they're going to play fast. They're going to play fearless. They're going to play free. We talk about using those words, and I don't know how it's going to end up, because we can't predict that, but those are things that are definitely going to be present. And man, I just love being in the dugout with them, for sure.
These are the stories, right, where I think we'll look back on this weekend and people will go, man, how did we miss that, right? I'm not doing the predicting for you. I know what I've seen, right? I know what it takes to win at this level, and you guys can easily go into that building and shock a ton of people, which is the best part. There's just so many storylines, Coach. I know we sat on the phone for like an hour one day and talked about whether it is Peyton Carr, who hit over 300 his first 2 years. He slugged over 500 his first 2 years. You're battling back from injury, Peyton. Like, I think there's a lot of like glory and relatability to people that are like, oh man, will I ever feel the same after that? That's why your story resonates. Charlie, same thing. I got cut my junior year, showed back up because I'm like, I got to get a degree. Senior year, see you later again. And then found a school where I got to go fall back in love with the game again. So there are all these stories that I think, yes, there are a lot of people that can relate to, but more so why y'all's is so cool is, man, y'all worked through it. Now we're on the other side. I think that's where you said free, Coach, and that's what we talked about on the phone, right? Like a Cale Chatham, who has played, I felt like just a ball player, has played free probably every day of his life, coming from LaGrange College, playing at a high level. Those are the stories that, to me, are sometimes missed, kind of in this industry and in college baseball. And I really appreciate you guys for letting me be a really, really small part in it. I think when we look at this weekend, right, like, what does this do? My last series question, then we'll get back into the good stuff. When you look at what this weekend means to your program, like, how does this kind of almost reset the standard of how you guys approach years to come? Like, Charlie and Peyton, like, when you guys come back from those alumni weekends where you get to run around the outfield with no shoes and hanging out and drinking adult beverages, like what will this weekend kind of tell this next wave of High Point Panthers?
Well, I'm going to go back, and when we get to the alumni weekend, I'll be the first one to tell all my buddies from years past that we did something they didn't. So I'm going to rub it in their face for a little bit. They'll probably be a little more drunk than I am and like, oh, we did this. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. We still want a little bit more, but it's definitely a stepping stone in the next part of the program. Hopefully we get that indoor built, and we'll get to hang out in the AC watching the alumni weekend instead of hanging out there.
I love it. How about you, Peyton?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's awesome being the first team. It's really special. First team in program history to play in a regional, to win a Big South championship. I mean, it's awesome. It definitely going to set the standard for years to come. And, whether recruits come in and, they're going to know what's expected. And that was a big thing that we talked about this year is kind of expecting to be in this position, not kind of just hoping for it. I think in years past, that's kind of what we tended to do, is just kind of hope. And, this year we kind of set it in stone, like, hey, we're going to expect to be in this position. We're going to expect to play in a regional. We're going to expect to play, or we're going to expect to win the Big South. And I think that's, that belief has kind of propelled us to where we are right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That fires
still
me up.
nobody believed in us this year. Like looking back on all the people that predicted winners, it's like, oh, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. And sure enough, it showed up every day.
There was one. There
I
was
saw
one,
it.
Jack.
Wait,
There's one.
Just
That's
one.
why we're on this call.
Every once in a while, just one. It was, man. I felt like too, because I played in this conference, right? There was this understanding, and I think this conference is a lot better than people give it credit for. But there was just like this understanding that it was always a one-horse race. Like in years past, it was Campbell. Before that, it was Liberty. Before that, it was Coastal. That like it was going to be the same thing moving forward. And I just thought it was bullshit. Like I really did. I thought like looking back, I was like, they didn't see like them having to fight off dudes during those runs of really talented groups. And man, yeah, you do your homework, but man, I'm in love. I'm in love with the storytelling aspect of this craziness, and y'all got a lot of it. I think that's what is inspiring for me, and it's inspiring for a lot of others, and it's why there's gonna be a ton of eyeballs on you boys this weekend. I'm stoked. I'm fired up for you, Charlie. You'll have any words for Clemson Tiger faithful this weekend? We made it all the way through. What do you think, Coach?
Oh, I mean,
I'm just excited to see what dumb shit they come up for me. I'll be standing out there in the left, see if they can come up with something like, I ain't gonna find nothing about my girlfriend
because he don't got one. No,
better. So,
all right, when are we busting in? Are we busting in Thursday?
No, we're gonna go Wednesday night. These guys don't know that yet, but we're gonna go. Now they do. We're gonna go in a little bit later or Wednesday. We're gonna soak it up, man. Again, we talked about just taking advantage of every single aspect of this entire journey and soak every piece of it up. And enjoy it. They've earned it, man. You know, I love these guys. They know that, and we want to do everything in our power to kind of make this experience, you know, worth all that work that we put in. And to this other point too, Jack, I think part of the reason why we gravitate and really appreciate you having us on here too is because not just the fact that you believed in us, which is great, and we could rally around that, but what you do in terms of telling the stories. I told you this. I try to tell everybody that's involved in from the media side. These kids, man, these guys, these young men, and sometimes kids, Charlie, they deserve their stories to be told, man. They got stories. These guys are great, and every line in every sport, they all do. But to cover more than just the box score, because it's way more than that, man. The livelihood, the personalities, their stories deserve to be told, man. And they're all going to be successful at whatever they want to end up doing in life. And part of that is storytelling, man. And so I gravitate to that. I think that's why, you know, as a coach, it's really important to me to know each one of these guys and to have a personal relationship with each one. It's really important to me. I remember as a player, you know, what it felt like, you know, to be coached by certain guys. And I ask myself that same question a lot as a coach now. And I just appreciate you taking the time and going a step beyond the box score to tell stories, because I think that's incredibly important, man. No doubt.
You said that it was one of the first things you told me, and I know, I promise I'll let Charlie get back to the lake soon. I swear it. But I do. This stuff fires me up because there's this idea between the difference between the good and the great coaches. The good, everyone knows the game, right? But the great know their people. And you do such an awesome job of that. And I think that was like what was really cool that day, getting to like kind of interact, is you get such a feel, like there was such a level of transparency. And I mean that in like the most positive way, where it was like, yeah, man, this is who we are. We talked about it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it. Like the Bad Boys documentary was my favorite growing up on the East 60s or whatever. Every great team has an identity. It was so evident that y'all knew yours right away, right? So, you know, you understand who you are, you play to the best of it. And I think that's why, hey, man, you had an unbelievable year, not even close to being done yet.
Yeah, I'm here for that. These guys, they want more meal money, man. Let's just keep playing.
Hey, the meal money. What's that go-to post-game meal for the boys? What they feed y'all well this year?
Charlie's is beer and pizza rolls.
I don't provide that, for the record. I don't know. Trent, our director of baseball operations, is so awesome. I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So, and the good news is, if it's terrible, he's the one that's to blame for that too. But I haven't heard very many complaints this year. It seems like it's been better than it's ever been, and that's Trent Kerner's area, man. And he's been killing it, and these dudes don't complain.
No, the meals have been awesome. I mean, except Peyton. I mean, look at him. He can do a jumping jack without his shirt on and get 2 black eyes because he eats like 4 meals a night. So.
Every time. Same joke.
I gotta tell you, it's the first time I've ever heard. It's pretty good, man.
I mean, he says it every day, doesn't he?
Does he? I was thinking it was like Wheaties because you're going to be on the cover of it one day. I was going like old school, like juicy up. All right. Hey, Pencil Talk Takeover. It's the High Point Panthers. They got a regional upcoming this weekend. The boys are just getting started. Go take a look, man. I cannot thank you guys enough for joining me, boys.
Jack, we appreciate it, man. Always.
Heck yeah. Hey, High Point on top. Pencil Talk. Go give them a love. Go give them a follow. Go show some love. It sounds like Coach Joey and I worked chase Peyton Carr to the big leagues, and Charlie and I are going to go catch a fish or 3 before we go check them out. Go give them some love. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate you.